Transform your approach to managing underperforming team members with proven strategies that address root causes rather than symptoms. This presentation offers practical frameworks for identifying, understanding, and motivating disengaged employees to reach their full potential. The financial impact of employee disengagement extends far beyond individual productivity issues. U.S. businesses lose $450–550 billion yearly to disengagement. Ripple effect: one underperformer can drag down team metrics. 2023 Gallup data: just 32% of employees are engaged. These statistics highlight a critical business challenge that requires strategic intervention rather than simple disciplinary action. Missed deadlines. Consistently miss deadlines or deliver work that reflects minimal effort, often requiring extensive revisions. Work offloading. Frequently find excuses to shift their responsibilities onto teammates, creating workload imbalances. Root issues. These signs often stem from deeper problems of disengagement or unclear job roles rather than inherent laziness. Understanding these patterns helps managers address behaviors without making personal judgments about character or work ethic. Observable behaviors. Chronic procrastination and lack of initiative. Avoidance of new responsibilities. Minimum effort to avoid consequences. Pattern of excuses for missed deadlines. Underlying causes. Disengagement, boredom, lack of purpose. Unclear expectations or role confusion. No visible growth or development path. Skills mismatch with current responsibilities. Role clarity issues. Employees without clear understanding of their responsibilities or performance standards often default to inactivity. Workload mismatch. Either too much work leading to burnout or too little causing boredom and disengagement. Feedback vacuum. Lack of recognition for good work or constructive feedback on areas for improvement breeds apathy. Skills gap. Employee may lack necessary training or abilities to complete assigned tasks effectively. Key indicators to monitor. Noticeable drop in productivity or consistently missing project goals. Increasing complaints from coworkers about uneven workload distribution. Low scores on engagement surveys or declining participation rates. Rising absenteeism or consistent tardiness. Quality issues requiring frequent rework. Early identification allows for intervention before problems affect the broader team culture. Initial resentment. Team members begin to notice the uneven workload and develop resentment toward consistent underperformers. Declining standards. Without intervention, overall accountability standards drop as team members question why they should maintain high performance. Top performer flight risk. High performers become particularly frustrated when laziness goes unaddressed, increasing likelihood of turnover. Cultural erosion. Eventually, the entire team culture shifts toward minimum effort rather than excellence and innovation. Shift your approach. The most effective managers address performance issues without making character judgments. Focus on observable behaviors rather than labeling employees as lazy. Recognize your own role in creating systems that either encourage or discourage engagement. Aim for transparency and fairness, not punitive action. Own your influence in team culture and motivation. Define clearly specific responsibilities for each role. Measurable KPIs and metrics. Concrete deadlines and milestones. Communicate regularly. Revisit standards in team meetings. Provide examples of excellence. Update targets as conditions change. Document thoroughly. Written performance agreements. Shared project dashboards. Follow-up emails after verbal discussions. Without crystal clear expectations, employees can't be fairly held accountable for their performance. Involve. Invite employees to participate in setting their own performance goals, increasing buy-in and commitment. Co-design. Work together to develop specific action steps for performance improvement with mutual agreement. Define success. Collaboratively establish what good looks like for each role and task to create shared understanding. Document. Capture agreements in writing with signatures from both manager and employee to formalize commitment. Effective tracking systems. Implement transparent performance dashboards visible to the entire team. Schedule regular check-ins focused specifically on progress against goals. Solicit employee self-assessment and peer feedback for multiple perspectives. Use data to adjust targets based on real performance, not assumptions. Create visibility that drives natural accountability. Be specific. Address performance gaps with concrete examples, not vague labels or generalizations. Instead of "you're always late with reports," try "the last 3 monthly reports were submitted after deadline." Focus on behaviors. Discuss observable actions and outcomes rather than making assumptions about personality or character. Focus on what can be changed. When you miss deadlines, it delays the entire project versus "you don't care about the team." Balance critique with solutions. Pair every criticism with specific, actionable advice for improvement and recognition of strengths. Create a forward-looking improvement plan rather than dwelling exclusively on past mistakes. Skill gap. When employees lack the necessary abilities or knowledge. Offer targeted training opportunities. Provide mentorship from experienced colleagues. Create step-by-step guides for complex tasks. Allow practice in low-stakes environments. Will gap. When employees have the skills but lack motivation. Explore personal engagement drivers. Connect work to meaningful purpose. Address workplace obstacles or frustrations. Use surveys or one-on-one talks to diagnose causes. Structured training. Provide access to formal learning opportunities, including workshops, courses, and on-the-job training sessions tailored to specific skill gaps. Mentorship programs. Pair struggling employees with more experienced team members who can provide guidance, feedback, and practical knowledge transfer. Role rotation. Assign varied responsibilities to broaden skill sets, prevent boredom, and help employees discover areas where they naturally excel. Effective motivation strategies. Provide public recognition for improved effort and achievement, not just final results. Tie tangible rewards directly to achievement of specific milestone goals. Offer growth opportunities that align with employees' strengths and interests. Create personal development paths that show investment in long-term success. Recognize incremental improvements to encourage continued progress. Workload transparency. Implement systems that make task distribution visible to ensure fair allocation and prevent overload or underutilization. Team task boards with clear ownership. Regular workload reviews in team meetings. Capacity planning tools. Process optimization. Identify and remove bottlenecks that impede progress and cause frustration or disengagement. Streamline approval processes. Eliminate redundant steps. Provide necessary resources. Accountability structures. Foster peer accountability and open communication through regular team check-ins and progress updates. Daily stand-ups or weekly reviews. Peer coaching opportunities. Collaborative problem-solving sessions. Document thoroughly. Maintain detailed records of performance issues, feedback provided, and improvement attempts to establish a clear pattern. Implement PIP. Create a formal performance improvement plan with specific, measurable goals, clear timelines, and defined consequences. Provide resources. Ensure employee has all necessary support, training, and guidance to succeed with the improvement plan. Regular check-ins. Schedule frequent progress reviews to provide feedback and adjust approaches needed. Final decision. If improvement doesn't occur despite genuine support, consider reassignment or termination based on documented history. Rebuilding engagement. Celebrate group wins and individual improvement stories to reinforce positive momentum. Use regular engagement surveys to monitor cultural health and identify emerging issues. Train managers in effective coaching and team-building skills. Create peer recognition programs that encourage team members to acknowledge each other's contributions. Recovering from a culture of low performance requires consistent leadership attention and demonstration that excellence is both expected and rewarded. Initial close rate. Sales team struggling with consistent underperformance and low morale before intervention. New close rate. After implementation of structured performance management system and accountability measures. Weeks to transform. Timeline from implementation to achieving sustained performance improvement. This sales team transformation was achieved through weekly performance check-ins, transparent task alignment, skills training, and public recognition of improvements. The manager focused first on clear expectations and removing obstacles before addressing individual performance issues. Look deeper. Lazy behavior is almost always a symptom, not a root problem. Investigate skill gaps, engagement issues, or structural problems before labeling employees. Build systems. Success requires clarity, consistent feedback, and environment improvements. Individual interventions work best within effective management systems. Raise all ships. Consistent performance management raises engagement and results for everyone, not just underperformers. Your entire team benefits from clear expectations. By addressing laziness systematically rather than punitively, managers can transform both individual performance and team culture for lasting results.